Hello everybody, it's Gemma here from madebygemmacrafts.co.uk. Thank you for joining me again today. Now today's video is going to be a bit of a product highlight, and I'm going to be sharing a new product to Stampin' Up with you very shortly. Just to let you know, today is the 3rd of January and today is new catalogue day, so we've got our Spring Summer 2018 catalogue here. So this is brand new today, and also this time of year it's time for a celebration as well. So if you would like me to send you out a copy of this Spring Summer catalogue and a celebration catalogue, then just drop me a line and I will post one out to you. But what we're going to look at today is, I think it's on page 26, here we go. We're going to be looking at the Brusho crystal colours, these little pots here. And I have some here as well to show you. Now it comes in a set of 5, and they aren't actually Stampin' Up colours, but I will get to the colours in just a moment. Now they are a watercolour crystal pigment, and you can get some really fabulous effects with them. Now here are some of my samples that I've made using my Brushos. This one I've used them like a watercolour wash for this one. This one here, what I did was I did a background and then I did some embossing, heat embossing on it, the heart shape, and then for the background of the card I just tapped a little bit onto some Whisper White cardstock and then spritzed it really gently with some water. This one here is, you can see, is a bit more solid, the colour on this one. I've used the Prussian blue and the moss green on this one and mixed them together. I think I might have put a little bit of yellow in as well. And this one I have done where I have put the powders directly onto my watercolour paper, smudged them in with my finger and then gone over them with a baby wipe. So there's various different techniques for using these. These are just a few that I thought I would share. Of course the stamp set on this one is Beautiful You. I'll just go back to this one. This is a new stamp set in the Spring Summer catalogue and it is called Heart Happiness there, and my little sentiment come from You're Priceless. And going back to this card here, this gorgeous floral design is also in the new catalogue and it's a stamp set called Lovely Wishes. And then our final one here, I have made like a rainbow tie-dye effect using all the colours together. And this one, the Celebrate stamp, and the the burst effect, that is one of the celebration stamp sets called Amazing You. And this one I've just layered it with some of the champagne foil cardstock, which was in the Christmas occasions catalogue, so unfortunately it's no longer available. But I made these samples a few weeks ago, so there's that, and that's some elegant eggplant there as well. So what I'm going to do is just going to go through a few basic techniques to get you started using your Brushos. And I've just got some watercolour paper here. You need to use watercolour paper because you are going to end up saturating the paper quite a lot, and the regular Whisper White cannot stand up to it. I did use, however, some regular Whisper White on this one, but I used such a small amount of water that it didn't buckle the card or really make much difference. So there's that one. So a little bit about the Brushos. As I said, they come in 5 colours and they're not Stampin' Up colours. You have got moss green, Prussian blue, brilliant red, yellow and gamboge, which is also orange. Not too sure why they couldn't just call it orange, but never mind. You'll see here that I've made some holes in the lids and I haven't actually removed the strip round here. These are incredibly fine powders. If you open the lid, they are going to go poof everywhere. So we recommend you just put a couple of holes in the top of your lid. I just use my pokey tool. It's As you see, it's really easy to get through and make a hole, just like so. Now when it comes to using them, there are a few different options. You can use them on dry paper and then introduce the water, or you can wet the paper and then introduce the colour that way. The first way I'm going to show you is simply by sprinkling on and spritzing them. So I'm going to take my moss green and literally just shake a little tiny bit with some yellow and a bit of red, like so. So I've just literally shook a tiny bit of the powder on. Now I've got a spritzer here. These are in the catalogue, you can pick these up. So you just fill it with regular water and it's a little tiny spray bottle type thing. So I'm just going to hold it up away from my paper, not too close, and then I'm just going to get it wet, really give it a good soaking. There we go, and then you can see the colour comes to life, and you can just give it, you can either give it a swirl around, or you can grab your aqua painter and go straight in and mush the colour about. Move it around the paper. So you've got a nice red section there. And I've got my paper towel here just to get the colour out of my brush, and then you can go and move on to the next one. You're just moving all our colour about. And then with the green on this side. As you'll see, in the green there's some like purpley tones in there as well. So you get a gorgeous effect from it. There we go. And that is one simple way of using your Brushos. And I did this kind of technique when I did the tie-dye effect for this card here. I just put my powder in lines across my card, and then I used a little bit of the red, brilliant red, with a Prussian blue down here to get my purpley colour, just to mix them together. So there's that way. Just pop that over there. There we go. So as I said, another way that we can use our Brushos is to wet our paper first. So if I give my paper a good spray, like so, and then grab some orange, you'll see it adds in, the colour will start to run immediately. And then you can use your aqua painter if you want, just to spread around your colour. Like so. And that is another way of using your Brushos. So I'll pop that over there. Now for this card here, so I'm trying not to get it dirty. This one here, I picked up the colour by itself. So I will show you what I mean. Just grab another piece of watercolour card. Try this off. So what I did was I started with some red and I put some on my little craft mat here. Then I grabbed my aqua painter and then got it all nice and wet. And then just use my aqua painter to draw on to my card. If I just get the colour out of my aqua painter like so, then grab some orange. You only need a tiny bit, a little bit of water, mix that up. You can add that on. If you want it a little darker, add a bit more pigment, make it slightly stronger. And you can just blend that together. And then finally, I use some yellow. Across the top. So I gave like a watercolour effect, splodginess, to put my stamp on the front of my card. Now I picked up the bits of detail on the flower here by using my blender pen. So what I did, right, we let that dry a moment. Over there. Got some more samples of bits and bobs that I've done as well. So if I bring in another piece of card, I've got my blender pen here. So all I did was, again, tapped a bit more, a little powder onto my mat, and then just rubbed my blender pen through it. And you'll see that that picks up the colour the same way as with the aqua painter, but it's not as wet. You can just rub over with your blender pen, and that's another way of using your Brushos. And then the last technique I'm going to show you, I'll flip that over, is the one that I used on this card here, where I said that I put the powder directly onto the card, and then I used my finger to smudge it in, and then I used a baby wipe. So let's start with some blue at the top, like so, and then I'm going to put some green down the bottom. Then I'm just going to use a finger to smudge it into the card, like so. And a different one for the green. I think I used a bit of yellow as well. Let's put a tiny bit in the middle. There we go. We can just blend those in together. So that's our piece of cardstock with our powder blended in with just our fingers. Now I'm going to grab a baby wipe. Clean my fingers first, otherwise it's all going to go very wrong. End up with stuff everywhere. Then I've just got a regular baby wipe. These are not expensive. And then all I did was just rub it over the card. Like so. Picking up more mess, so let's clear that away for a second. Let's get another wipe. So I did use different wipes for the different colours. There we go, we've got the blue. I mean, hopefully you might think this is like a slightly less messy way of doing it. I don't know, I seem to be getting in a real good mess here actually today. And then just across the middle. And the good thing about this is you can pick up the colour with it. So if you don't want it so dark, you can rub over it with your baby wipe and take the colour away. And the other nice thing about using the baby wipes is that it doesn't completely saturate your card. So if you try to get this effect with using just your water sprayer or your aqua painter, you're going to really saturate your card. There we go. So as you can see, I've rubbed most of the colour away, but you get quite a nice soft feel. I mean, when you're not rushing and trying to show, you can, obviously you won't get splodges of green and blue mixed up and whatnot, but that is like the basic premise that I come up with, the basic idea that I came up with. You do get messy fingers, there's nothing you can do about it, but it's fun. It's nice to try a new technique every now and again as well. So that is my little introduction on Brushos. So I'll just bring in my little samples again of different ways of doing it. So that one was where we put our powder directly onto the paper first and then sprayed it. This one was then where we wet our paper and then added the colour to it. And then I'm just going to wipe this up over here, otherwise it's going to go on my samples. And then this one here is where we put some of the powder onto our mat and then picked it up with our aqua painter. And then this final one here is where we smushed smudged all the Brusho into the paper first and then used a baby wipe over the top. So I hope I've given you some inspiration. I will just show you my samples again. If I just move these out of the way, I'll pop them out in front of me for you to see. Just give this a quick wipe. So we've got all our different techniques here, and you can make some really gorgeous backgrounds with all of these products. I hope you've enjoyed today. I certainly have enjoyed getting messy, and I will see you all again very soon. Thank you, bye.